Hey folks, it's Matt here with Basemap, your friendly guide for every draw across the United States, and today we're going to cover Oregon. All right, let's dive right in with deadlines. The first deadline you need to know is Spring Black Bear happens in early February. It was February 10th this year, so that's long and gone. The next big deadline are for your special permit hunts. Those happen, that deadline this year is May 15th at midnight Pacific time, and you're going to need to get your application in preferably before then so that you have a chance of drawing this year. If you only plan on purchasing points, you can do that July 1st through November 30th if you're only interested in building points. Now, we'll talk about the point system in a second, but first, let's jump into the regulations and what you're going to see there. The first thing is, as you're looking at deer and elk hunts, there are general hunts, and those are really over-the-counter hunts, so no need to apply to get one of those licenses. And then you'll see lists of controlled hunts listed, or tables of controlled hunts listed. And you'll see a hunt listed, a date, a weapon type, a sex and a unit or area that you can hunt in, and that's what we're going to cover. Now, you'll see for deer, for instance, there's a couple different categories. There's like buck deer hunts, and then there are antlerless hunts. And in each of those categories, you could build points. So look through the different species and see what categories exist and which ones you'd like to apply for and build points in. If you're looking at ram or goat hunts, note that those are once in a lifetime hunts, obviously extremely hard to draw. And if you do, then you're out. No more hunting those. But congratulations, because you managed to draw an extremely hard tag. You do have to purchase a hunting license in Oregon prior to applying. And then one other little quirk is if you're somebody who likes to buy your licenses early, know that if you were to purchase one of those general deer or elk licenses, then you won't actually be able to apply for a 100 or 200 series hunt. So I'd recommend that you wait until after the draw to decide to purchase those over-the-counter licenses. Okay, let's dive into the draw system. Now, there's really two draw systems implemented in Oregon. There are some hunts that are under a random draw system, and then there are other hunts that are under a combination of a preference point and random draw system. So let's talk about the easy ones first, where it's just a random draw or lottery system. Those are going to be your premium hunts, your bighorn sheep, and your Rocky Mountain goat hunts. So every applicant has the same chance of drawing in those hunts. Nobody gets preference in any shape or manner. Y'all get one entry, and licenses are simply awarded until the quotas fully allocated, and that's the end of it. In your deer, elk, and pronghorn hunts, as well as black bear, there's a combination of preference point and random draw that's in place. Now, why is it a combination? Well, when you look at the quota in the regulations, 75% of the quota will be awarded by preference points, and then 25% will be awarded via random draw. So the way that this works is first choice applicants are looked at first for a particular hunt, and 75% of the quota for that hunt will be awarded by preference point. Every year that you apply and you're unsuccessful, you can build a preference point, or if you elect to just simply purchase a point. Now, what happens is your application, along with everybody else who selected a first choice hunt, will be assigned a random number. And then you also have however many preference points going into the draw that year. Now, we rank applications by those with the most preference points and lowest random number at the top, all the way down to those with the least preference points and highest random number. Where we have applicants that have the same point number, same number of points, they get sorted by that random number that's assigned to their application. Now, as we go to actually award out licenses, we'll start at the top, most preference points, lowest random number, and work our way down, awarding out licenses until we either run out of licenses, so that's 75%, or we've gone through every preference point holder. Now, after we get done with the preference point, we go into the random draw system, and there we ignore the preference points for the remaining applicants who haven't received a license. And we just simply rank them by lowest random number to highest random number and start awarding that 25% of the quota. If there's still quota remaining after we get done with the first choice. Then we'll move to second, third, and fourth choice, and we'll just simply give out quota according to that random number ranking. So that's the way that the draw works. In reality, a lot of your best hunts won't get beyond the first choice, and so it's good to build points or get lucky in that random allocation. Okay, so now that you understand how the draw system works, let's talk about quotas for a second. Now, if you're an Oregon resident, congratulations, you get the best chance of drawing. Really, if you're talking about pronghorn hunts, 97% or more of tags will go to residents. The remaining 3%, up to 3%, could go to non-residents. If we're talking about deer or elk, it's 95% or more of licenses go to Oregon residents, and non-residents could draw up to 5%. In your mountain goat and sheep draws, there non-residents can draw up to 5 to 10%. It will be within that range, but that's of the total number of licenses available for those species. So for a particular hunt, a non-resident may not draw. That doesn't mean that non-residents didn't have an opportunity to draw, they just simply didn't draw. One quirk about our Oregon system is guides and outfitters can actually take some licenses off the top of the non-resident allocation, and that's based on how many non-residents applied or drew in the previous year, and whether or not guides and outfitters actually find non-residents who want to go and hunt. Okay, lastly, let's talk about choices. We mentioned those in the draw system. In Oregon, you can select up to 5 choices on your application. You'll want to rank order those. Number 1 is the hunt you would want to do the most, down to number 5 being the least. You don't have to select that number of hunts, but you can. Most hunts will fully allocate quota after the first choice. Those are the details you need to know for Oregon this year. Good luck in applying.